Hello and welcome to Mayhem with your host, May.
Good afternoon. I wanted to start with a poem. It's by Howard Andrew Jones. It's called Invocation to the Muses. Muses, I praise thee. Grant me the vision to craft words of power that sear into the mind's eye. Let my ears hear words that are true and pure. Let my inspiration be a mighty steed that carries me forward. I pledge to you that I shall fight resistance and strive to bring glory to the tales you would have me tell. Let the work begin. So this week is the last week of the month of devotion, and it is also the time when we talk about the moment. What is the moment? What am I talking about there? The moment is when you lose yourself to your art. The moment when time stops and when you stop knowing yourself. And all you know is this message that you're trying to give to the world. The moment is when your art becomes who you are. And we all work for that. It can be you get so focused on your work that you lose sense of time. It can be you get really into a novel and you forget who you are, only to be thrust out of it suddenly, like taking a cold shower into reality. I get that a lot. Or it's sitting down at your computer and starting to type and completely losing yourself to that story, or the painting, or behind a camera lens when you're trying to take a good picture. This is the moment that we have worked towards. This is the moment. This is why we are devoted to our craft. This is why we do what we do. So a lot of different authors and a lot of different people have a lot of different ways to get to their art, to get to the point where they can write. I have an hour of things that I do every morning in order to get to my art, and some days I can't even get there at all. The person who I have read that talks about it as well is Shonda Rhimes in her book A Year of Yes. She talks about how far she must travel in order to get to the place where she can sit down at her computer and write. There are a lot of different authors that also have really odd routines that they use to get to their art. I know that Hemingway, he has a couple. He liked to drink. And then his other one was he didn't write sitting down, he wrote standing up. There's one author that wrote lying down. I think it was Spencer Tracy. And then Maya Angelou rents hotel rooms. And she has a deck of cards and a bottle of sherry and notebooks, and that's how she gets her art out. Nobody does it the same. And that's okay. The crux of the matter is that you get there. And you get there that any way you know how. Ritual and routine. That is why devotion to these things is so important. Because getting yourself to that moment makes everything else worth it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is getting to the moment and how important the moment is, because when you lose yourself to your art, when you lose yourself to your passion and your devotion, that's when we touch the God Center. That's when we step back out of our own individual person and we let something else take over for us. That is when your God Center can take over for you. And you don't have to worry about the end result, because it's not about the end results. It's about making it. It's about sitting down and doing it. And it's a really beautiful thing to watch. The book I want to talk about this week is called Invasive by Chuck Wendig. Now, this is a horror book. This is one of those monster books. But it's also, what I wanted to talk about is, basically, it's about ants, and you know how ants have a hive mind. They have the sense of smell, and that's how they talk to each other. And somebody hacks into the hive mind of the ants, and turns ants against humanity. So it's a book about ants eating people. It's funny that I say that, because when I was looking at one of those baby name books, I found a baby name that I really loved that I wanted to name an animal. And that word is patakusu, and that means ants biting people. And that's what this book is. It's about ants biting people. And, but basically what I wanted to bring this book up for, it's by Chuck Wendig, is I wanted to talk about how this book is about a hive mind, right? It's about, like, our God center, like God being through all of us, and that's how we touch him, to get to the center, to get to the moment, to get to the uniqueness. Well, it's God center. This book is about hacking that and somebody else having control. And what I wanted to say about that is the beauty of getting to the moment and getting to your God center is nobody can hack it. Nobody else has any control over getting there and what happens there. The only person that has any control in that situation is you. Nobody can hack into it. Nobody can change it. Nobody can take it from you. It's nobody's responsibility, and nobody's anything. They can't do anything to mess with this moment but you. You have the responsibility, you have the power, and you have the obligation to make it to that moment as often as you can. And you have no fear of anybody hacking in, because nobody can do that. So I just thought I'd bring up a fun book to end the month out, to tell you that getting to the moment, being able to touch your art and create, that's what it's all about. And nobody else has any responsibility to get there but you. Nobody can hack into the system and do it for you. You have to do it. So follow your routine. Try writing standing up. Try doing art on your back with the canvas being on the ceiling. Try going outside and throwing a ball around and taking a picture of that. I don't know. Try something new. Figure out your routine and use that routine as a tool to get to the moment as often as possible. Thank you very much for listening. Next month is about faith. So we've been talking about devotion this whole time, getting there, using routine, being devoted to a subject. But you can be devoted and not have faith. But the point is to have faith. Have faith that things will change. So July is about faith, and the first week is about how to show up. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.